running some errands earlier, and I was his fire, and that's what I started this video with. But we're back now, and I said I was going to talk about something very, very dear to me, very important to me. And sometimes when you start off with something that has to do with creating content, you're not quite sure where the content is going to lead you. Like, you might start the process. Of course, you trust the process to take you somewhere. But sometimes you take it to places that might be too open wound for others to hear. It might be too much of a tight connection to your personal life that if you expose it, it might hurt some people. However, in this case, no hurt is intended, but the subject at hand must come to bear. We have to address it, the elephant in the room. I have a son. His name is Zayden. And I have another son. His name is Daniel. Zayden was born on the 14th day of February in 2010 by his mother, Vanessa Gurubel. And he'll be 12 in a couple of days. He may not understand this video at 12, but he will understand this video at 24, all right? So he will understand this video when he's much older, right? Because thanks to social media, we can document, we can document truth and lies. We can document facts and fiction. But the purpose here is to give him a chance to know the truth and to be defined by the truth. Now, it's up to him to live a lie or to live the truth. But I see a pattern in my relationship with my father and his relationship with his father. And by the grace of God, I have a different relationship with my son. But there's still some parallels, right? Let me start with a big arc. My dad and I have not had a truthful conversation between ourselves in the last decade. What I mean by a truthful conversation is, you know what the issue is, but it's not addressed or it's hidden. And now that I've come into my own as a man and I know what the issue is, we're just discussing everything but it. We discuss Nigerian politics, we talk about maybe health and good living, and we talk about God sometimes. But our conversation is not addressing or does not address our specific relationship. And so as I'm getting older, I'll be 50 this year, my son will be 12, my other son will be 11, and no, it'll be 12 or 11, I'm not sure, that might be 12. So, in July 7th, July 11th, 7/11. So you have a situation where I want to be as truthful as possible so that my son would know that his relationship with me is something I want. I want that, and I want it to be fruitful and positive. Like, it's intentional for me to make it so. Not because of the quality of man that I am, but just because it makes sense. It's the right thing to do. So, he's been with his mom since he was born. I've lived with him for a very short amount of time, but Zayden, for the most part, has lived with his mom from birth to now. I've been a custodial parent, but that's something I'll leave unsaid. My performance in that area has been such that I've been good with the law, making those payments, but it's more than just payments. I think that you want to have a relationship beyond just what the government says. You want to kind of map out for yourself the kind of man you want to be for your son. And my dad is a very influential man, very strong man, very handsome man, very entertaining man. And I happen to be the same. And my son, if you see him, he's 007. He's pushing P, as the kids would say, right? But on a very serious note, I want him to first be happy. This world is so complicated. There's no need to be angry. There's no need to be mad at situations. Just be happy first. Let your energy come from joy. Then know God. Number two, just know God. Know Him well for yourself. Not what you read in the Bible, not what Paul or James or Luke or Mark or Matthew, doesn't matter what they said. Learn Him for yourself. Learn Him for yourself. So knowing God intimately is the second thing. The third thing is you must be good to people. Be kind to people. Be really kind to people. Take, Zayden really cares so much for Zero, and vice versa. They really have this bond, right? So you gotta be nice to people. Like, there's no need to be mean to people or be spiteful or manipulative. Just be nice to people. No matter what the outcome is, be nice. See, I want to get to a point where I love Jesus, not because He will let me come to heaven, but because He's just a cool guy to me. I love the Holy Spirit and love God for those same reasons. Because they are good for us. They are good to me. They've always been good to me. I should have been dead and gone a long time ago, but they've kept me here for a reason. And I want to maximize on that reason and make it worth their time, provide value for the benefits, for the privilege of being here. I want my son to see that this birthday, I may not spend with him. I might spend with his mom. I may not be part of the equation. I'm not saddened by it. I can always make the change. The change is there for me to accommodate. If I speak to his mom, we can make something happen. Well, since COVID, we've not really seen each other, and distance from where he is and where I am, my family, is a few hours away. But we can make it work if we need to make it work. But beyond that, whether it works or not, is not so important. Like, me spending time with him on his birthday is not as valuable as the knowledge he will get from this video. And that's what makes social media great. I want him to understand that I, Frank, do love him. He should know that I love him, just like I know he loves me. He should know that my wife loves him, that his mother loves him. And there's all this love around him, and he can do what he wants to do with it. His siblings love him. His sister, testimony, whom at the point of this video, he hasn't met yet. But she's 7 months old, there's still time. They'll meet each other. They'll love each other, And they'll all be one great family one day. But there's a space and a time when a man needs to step into a child's life and break down the game. And my dad did break down the game for me. And I want my son to get a chance to hear the game from me. And this video represents the beginning of that process, right? It's a process that will take me into his teenage years, because I need to sculpt him. I need to sculpt all my children to be able to understand that this life is complex. This life is sophisticated. This life has a lot of mystery. And you need that wisdom and that fatherly hospitality, to be able to navigate the hills and valleys of this world. But on the foundation of all of this is God. God is the pilot. He's the blueprint. He's the one that sets the tone for your life. So you must connect to God in a way that's unique to you, in fellowship with others. You can't do it outside of corporate anointing. You must understand that you're the first son of your mother. That means that you belong to God. You will serve Him. It's just part of what it means to be a first fruit. Same thing with me. Same thing with my dad. Same thing with my dad for his mom. Now, my dad has met my son almost 10 years ago. It's funny, we were having a conversation in McDonald's, and my son said to my dad, "How come you're here?" Because this right here is my dad, and my dad says you're his dad. How's that possible? Because as far as my son is concerned, at that age, he just thought everything ended with me. I said to him, I had to explain to him what we're having McDonald's. I said, "Listen, man, yeah, you came through your mom via me. And my dad gave birth to me with my mom, right? And my dad also has a mom who's grandma, who's great-grandma to you, right? So it took him a while to understand, like, the conversation. But now he gets it. His name is Ezenekwe, right? For those of you that are watching that may not know what our name means, it's a name that belongs to kings, you know. The name means Ezenekwe. A king does agree. A king does agree. It's a name that dips into history. My father is Obadiah Isuchukwu Ezenekwe. His father is Jonathan Peterside Ezenekwe JP. And my dad was born a twin, I believe, in Cregan. I'm not sure, like Opobo, Port Harcourt area, because he speaks a different language. He also speaks Hebrew, but but ultimately we say he was born in Nanka. So we're from Nanka, and there's a history of that, and his dad was a king. I think he passed on it, and I mean, Kali, I passed on that. So he might jump on Zayden, he might jump on somebody else. I'm not sure, but kingship is around the corner. It's part of the lineage, right? And at 4 a.m. in the morning, I was in Nigeria one time. We live very close to my granddad, so we used to live very close. We still live, our house is still next to his. So I remember him calling for 4 o'clock prayer, like early in the morning, like my wife does now. Like he called for 4 o'clock prayer. 4 o'clock prayer. Like I remember him playing piano. I remember seeing presidents in the house one time, So he's a big guy. He was a slave in Birmingham, England. I had an uncle called Victor Ezenekwe that wrote the history of our granddad's family back, all the way back to now. Right? He traced it. And he had 17 wives, and I think, maybe 12 official, but 17 altogether, right? And then he had 126 sons and 56 daughters. That's JP we're talking about. My dad only has 2, my sister and I. So the history is there. The legacy has been built. You're part of the future. You are the future. Treat people well. Treat people nice. Happy birthday to you. We haven't made plans yet, whether I see you or not. Still wishing you happy birthday. You are gonna grow up and become a handsome young man with a strong future, and your siblings would embrace you, and you should embrace them also, from your siblings with your mother and siblings from my family, so testimony and so on. Zuru, Sophie, David, Daniel, and Angel, and the other guys that are coming, so it's at some point all of this will make sense. But in the meantime, life is still beautiful. Life should be beautiful. We should be always thankful to God for life. And no matter how complicated it is, it's still a good thing. You can make something out of this. You can be great in spite of the problems. You know, this pattern has been broken, but work has to be done between my dad and I on just resolving a plethora of issues. However, it can't be done without God's counsel, because, you know, I'm stubborn, he's stubborn, so, you know, there we have it. You know, to talk to me, you can't talk via people. There's no mouthpiece. You want to talk to me, you gotta pick up my phone and call me, period. You don't want to talk to me, I'm chill, you know. There are many people that don't talk to me. It's a long list of people that hate me. That's a long line. You can queue up next, get a ticket and wait. Because this flow, this swag, this drip is not stopping for nobody. I'm going to keep pushing along, doing what I do, serving God, you know, producing films, content, whatever it is I'm doing, it's going to be fly. It's not going to stop being fly. So don't sweat yourself. It's not that serious. You know, wake up happy. I wake up happy. I'm looking at movie theaters. I'm thinking to myself right now as I speak to you, I'll go pick up my computer from somewhere, but there's a lot of work I have to do for the airface. But in the middle of that, I said to my wife this afternoon, we need to go see a film. I want to see a film this evening. In the movie theaters, chilling. Some kettle corn, you know. I ain't sweating nothing. So I want your life to have the confidence of God in it. I want it to have the favor of God and man. The complications of dealing with women. Women will come into your life. You know, you will deal with the drama. You know, it's gonna happen. Just ultimately, don't hit women. Don't do that. She could hit you a little bit. You just swerve sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like a player, but don't hit him. Always protect your woman. There's something about that. You gotta do it, man. You just gotta be a protector, you know. Protecting your woman doesn't mean just having biceps. That's not, or having guns and being strapped. That's not what protection. Protection means looking at the future and trying to figure out how you make it optimally great, the best version of herself, creating a blueprint for that. Looking at her life and saying, okay, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Calculate these things ahead of time. Go shopping for her, make sure your clothes fit right. That's what protection means. Protecting a woman means making sure she's beautiful, smells good, shaves good. She's a package. She's your package. She's your ambassador. So when you send her out to the world, she needs to look the part. That's the essence of protecting a woman. You gotta see, sometimes you gotta stop being a man a little bit. Just deal with her little, you know, female stuff. Just deal with, I love you. You gotta do all those things, like make her feel good. Just say it. Listen, G, it's hard to do sometimes, but we all have to do it. My dad told me, listen, man, I haven't had time to mind. He said, listen, they're all the same. Just pick one. So, G, when it's time, decide. The only thing that makes a man is your decisions. Your decisions define you. So you got to learn how to make quick, fast decisions. Run with it. Correct it. Listen to your girl so you can correct it. Listen to your woman, your wife. They have the correction. You're going to mess up a lot. Listen to your woman so you can get the game locked in tight. May God bless you. May God bless this moment. May God bless my wife. Bless your mother. Bless her mother. Bless our foundation. Bless our history. Bless our legacy. May God bless God. Wow.